What is up on this absolutely gorgeous Friday? All right, let me get everything set up here. I once again had an interesting night again. Unfortunately, I'm ready for this week to be over. Unfortunately, I still have one more night before that is the case. But let's get into today. So I'm getting everything pulled up here. Wild night of baseball. We got picks, predictions for the weekend coming up here. Had a college football game and an NFL game last night that we'll go over. So plenty of things. And we're going to deep dive. We're going to look at each game individually. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on baseball. That's why I did that yesterday. So let's see what we can do. All right. So looking at, we're actually going to start with baseball. Might as well. Let's just start with baseball. Look at what happened last night. A couple of really big things. Number one, the Reds did beat the Pirates. Finally, 2-1. They finally beat the Pirates 2-1, which is actually really, really big because the Mets then ended up beating the Chicago Cubs. So they're basically just keeping pace with each other. The Dodgers blanked the Diamondbacks, so now the Diamondbacks are 2 games behind in the wild card for the National League. Everybody else is officially mathematically eliminated, with the Phillies beating the Marlins 1-0. The Yankees won 5-3, and then the Blue Jays finally won 6-1, leaving them tied at the top of the American League East. The Tigers beating the Guardians was huge. They are back in a tie for first heading into this weekend. And then the Mariners once again won, and Mariners are looking good. Mariners are looking really, really good. So let's see here. All right. WNBA update for tonight. Now, I do want to comment on this because it was really odd. I'm not going to lie, it was really odd. The New York Liberty fired their head coach 1 year after winning the championship, and then they got knocked out by a decently good Phoenix Mercury team. I really don't understand it. It blew my mind. The GM says it was a proactive move. Proactive for what? She got you the championship last year. What was it proactive of? Really? You didn't make the WNBA championship again? Did you guys not see the Lynx? Did you guys not see the Aces? Did you guys not see that other teams are getting better? Why would you fire her? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. But tonight you've got Game 3, Las Vegas at Indiana, the Fever. Then you've got the Minnesota Lynx at the Phoenix Mercury. Both of those games tonight, 7:30, 9:30 ESPN2. And then Sunday will be Game 4. And on Monday morning, we'll check and see what the Game 5s look like, if we have them. Remember, this is a best-of-5 series, so we'll recap those on Monday. All right. Last night, East Carolina beat Army, which doesn't seem like a big game, but I have always been a fan of East Carolina. This goes back a long, long time ago. I've always liked the Purple Pirates. Don't ask me why. My favorite color growing up was purple. Maybe that's it. I just know that I follow them every year, and on NCAA, I tend to play them. So, I don't know why, but they did win last night. Tonight, Florida State is at Virginia. So, big game there. Virginia's 3-1. Do not sleep on Virginia. Florida State is now ranked 8th in the country, and they're a 6.5-point favorite heading into this game. All right. So, let's talk about last night's NFL game. Because it really, really bugs me how bad the Cardinals looked. The defense looked outstanding. The offense looked so suspect. It was ridiculous. I mean, just it was ridiculous. And as I was watching the game, the turnovers, it was a Thursday night game when it came to turnovers, but how something didn't make sense. Kyler Murray is paid as a franchise quarterback. Now, remember, my definition of franchise quarterback is somebody who can start for your franchise and be your quarterback week in, week out. Kyler Murray can do that. But what Kyler Murray is not is he is not a franchise leading quarterback. He does not have the wherewithal, the fortitude, the mental aspect to actually be the physical leader of a team. That was James Conner. He's out for the year on injured reserve. Trey Benson filling in for him last night did decent, but he only got 8 runs. Kyler Murray had 5 runs for 41 yards. He had the long run of 29 yards in the fourth quarter. It was mostly scrambles. You take away his 5 runs, the Cardinals only ran the ball 12 times. 12. You take away Kyler's 41 yards, it was 12 times for 48 yards. That's not good enough. I'm going to go back to what I talked about on Tuesday. And over the weekend, so letting you guys know, next week I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make a segment basically built around this one aspect. The teams that throw the ball as much as Arizona did last night, and the teams that are balanced. I'm going to go back to week 1. I'm going to write everything out, and we're going to see if there is data, if there is a threshold for how many pass attempts typically work to win a game. Last night, Sam Darnold threw 26 passes. There were 35 runs by the Seattle Seahawks. Kyler Murray threw 41 passes. He was sacked 6 times. He threw 2 interceptions. There is a correlation, and I will have the data after this weekend. I'm going to start working on it. It'll all be in the notebook. I'm going to keep track every week from here on out, and it will be on Tuesdays. We will look at the winning team's offensive play output and the losing team's offensive play output. And we will see if there is data to back up any type of conclusion. My conclusion is you're failing quarterbacks if you're asking them to throw 40 times a game right off the bat. You only ran the ball 12 times, Arizona. 12. Seattle ran the ball 30, well, let's see. Yeah, minus Sam Darnold, 34 times. Minus Kyler Murray, 12 times for Arizona. Minus Sam Darnold, 34 times for Seattle. Wow. And Seattle was controlling that game the entire time, although they didn't really take a bunch of shots until late. And huge credit, Sam Darnold made the throws. Jackson Smith and Jigma did outstanding on the outside, made huge catches. And Seattle, the better team, won the game. Jason Myers misses a 50-yard field goal, and then he makes a 52-yard field goal. It's how the game works. And the reality with everything is this. Right now, when you're Arizona, you need to keep everything on a level field. Kyler Murray is, I told you, Caleb Williams to me is Kyler Murray. Lots of hero ball, lots of putting on the cape, big throws, risky throws, just not good, and then running into sacks. Now, Seattle's defense is outstanding. I love them. I absolutely love them. But here's the reality. The Arizona Cardinals offensive line isn't horrible. It's not horrible. So, last night's game mostly concerned me with how Arizona played. That was the concern. Seattle did exactly what they should do, being the road team, coming in, controlled the game, moved everything forward. They scored points in every quarter. Fourth quarter, Cardinals try to make a wild comeback. Harrison Jr. catches that big catch. Great for him. I was so happy to see him get that. You could tell there was a lot of emotion with it. He's struggling. I'm not sure if it's because of Arizona or not. I'm really not. I'm not sure if it's because of Arizona or not. But he's struggling. And it was such a relief to him. He caught that pass. He caught the other pass, beating Devin Witherspoon, an outstanding corner for Seattle. That is a great battle that I hope we get to watch for years to come. But Arizona, you're going to have to really dial this in. Seattle is now 3-1. The Rams, they're kind of just sitting there right now. And then the Niners, Bosa's out. I think it's a huge hit for their defense. Offensively, it's a Christian McCaffrey injury away from being garbage again. It only relies on one player defensively and one player offensively. And that's the unfortunate part of this. All right. So before we get to my picks, before we get to the pick six, we're going to run through, because this is where we get into the quarter of the way through the season. This is week number 4. So let's go ahead and take a look at each individual game. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stats, the individual game, some of what's going on with the injuries, and let's just kind of play this out. So, here we go. The Minnesota Vikings and Pittsburgh Steelers. Technically, Pittsburgh is the home team, but it's in Dublin. The Vikings are used to this. Okay. Kevin O'Connell is used to this. And I believe this game's going to come down to which defense shows up more. The way this has played out, last week the Steelers had a really good game. Can they duplicate it? Aaron Rodgers has 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Jaylen Warren, leading rusher for Pittsburgh, has 43 carries, only 132 yards. Receiving yards, Jaylen Warren, 11 catches, 142 yards, and a touchdown. He's the best receiver. TJ Watt, only 2 sacks on the year. Patrick Queen, 24 tackles. On the other side, Carson Wentz is starting for McCarthy again. Jordan Mason has 40 carries for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson has 12 receptions, 200 yards, and a touchdown. Javon Hargrave has 2 sacks, and Evan Pace has 26 tackles. The injury report looks like this. Andrew Van Ginkel, Justin Skoll, Ryan Kelly, and Javon Hargrave all look to be able to play on Sunday, as of right now. Those are the 4 main injuries for the Minnesota Vikings. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jaylen Warren with the knee, Jonnu Smith, Joey Porter Jr., Deshaun Elliott. I think Elliott is more questionable than the other 3. Porter has the hamstring injury. How effective he'll be, you can easily debate. So we'll see how that plays out. But defensively, Alex Highsmith, ankle, he's out for 3 weeks. So defensively, I mean, Pittsburgh is technically the underdog. They're 2.5-point underdogs, and I think that's probably accurate. But that is going to be that game. Now, a game that I said to really, really watch out for. How is this game going to play out? The Chargers at the Giants. When you look at this game on paper, it actually kind of says the Giants have a shot. And you may be going, why? Because of their defense. Brian Burns leads the team with 4 sacks. Bobby Okereke has 34 tackles. Derwin James is the leading tackler on the Chargers with 26, and Henley is the leading sack leader with 2. Okay? Omarion Hampton is the running back now, especially with Najee Harris out. This year he's got 42 carries, 142 yards, and a touchdown. Not horrible. Not great, but not horrible. Actually, 42. Yeah, actually, it's not good. It's less than 4 yards a carry. Quentin Johnston has really come alive. 14 receptions with 3 touchdowns and 239 yards. Justin Herbert this year, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 860 passing yards. And what I really believe it comes down to is, what do the Giants do on the other side of the ball? Jackson Dart, Cam Skattebo, Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, those are the guys I am wondering, what are you going to do? You got Jackson Dart. Is this, I know it's potentially out there, but is this the shot in the arm that they need that kind of mimics what the Colts have? Daniel Jones is playing really good, but the team is playing with utter confidence that he gives us a shot to win. The question I have is, can Jackson Dart do that for the Giants? Maybe not that they'll win, but that the players believe he gives them that chance to win no matter what's going on. His arm, his legs, his charisma, do they believe that Jackson Dart is the guy? If they do, Brian Burns could sack Herbert 2 more times. They could intercept Herbert. The Giants' defense is nothing to sleep on. If you watched Sunday Night Football last week, you would know that, because the Giants absolutely flummoxed Patrick Mahomes. Jim Harbaugh has the offense working, but there's been no running game. And the Giants' defensive line is one of their strengths. If they only have to rush 4 to stop Hampton, it gives them the ability to cover Johnston, McConkey, and Keenan Allen. I really am looking forward to this matchup. Like I said, NFL teams is a little bit different than college. College, I'm worried about USC coming to Illinois, noon kickoff, Cali to Illinois, Chargers, LA to New York. But these are professionals. It's a little bit different. But still, history says sometimes there's a little lag. And can the Giants come out? Can Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart just create something really special with Cam Skattebo, the rookie running back that just runs hard? Could they become the New York 3? Anything's a possibility heading into this game. I am really intrigued about this. Could the Chargers blow them out 31-3? Absolutely. Could the Giants play this game really close and possibly win? Absolutely. Giants are a 6.5-point underdog. That's a lot. Like I told you, I don't like that. I don't like that. All right, looking at the injuries. Will Dissly, questionable with the knee. Elijah Molden, questionable with the hamstring. Darius Davis, Bradley Bozeman. Bradley Bozeman has a back issue. Watch that, especially with this defensive line. That's hard to deal with, especially when the Giants do like to do center blitzes. For the Giants, Bo Collins, Theo Johnson, Darius Slayton are all questionable. So we'll see how that plays out. But that is the Giants and Charger game. Then we go to the Titans and Titans and the Texans. So this one, the Texans are favored currently by 7.5. These are the stats. Cam Ward this year has 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 506 passing yards. Tony Pollard has 54 carries, 197 yards. Chig Okonkwo is the leading receiver, 12 receptions, 120 yards. They only have 1 sack from Jeffrey Simmons. Cody Barton has 20 tackles, so not great. For the Texans, Stroud has 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 599 yards. Nick Chubb, 34 carries, 141 yards. Nico Collins, 14 receptions, 181 yards. Will Anderson with 3 sacks. And Al Shire has 25 tackles. The injury report, Derek Stingley Jr., Jake Andrews, and Jacob Johnson are all questionable. Derek Stingley is the one that could really make a difference because they leave him on an island a lot. So watch for that one. Kevin Zeitler, the guard for the Titans, still questionable. Kevin Winston, the safety, is also questionable with the hamstring. So watch those two. Really, on this game, if you remember my Hawks locks, I picked the Titans at +7. I said I'm going with the Titans. I think Texans win, but I think it is way too big of a spread. It is way too big of a spread. All right, Commanders and Falcons. This is a hard game because we don't know what Jaden Daniels is going to do. We don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play or not play. We don't know. Now, there have been quite a few that have been dogging on Michael Penix. All right, hold on here. He has currently got 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, but he has thrown for 605 yards. Bijan Robinson has 47 carries for 239 yards. No rushing touchdowns. Here's the issue. Bijan Robinson is also the leading receiver with 14 receptions, 164 yards, and a touchdown. Zach Harrison is tied for the lead in sacks at 1.5. Caden Ellis has 18 tackles. Bobby Wagner. Long life Bobby Wagner. Why is it always the Washington team? You remember London Fletcher played for Washington forever after he left Buffalo? It was like he never retired. Bobby Wagner has found a place with Washington. It's always Washington. Leads the team with 32 tackles. Dorrance Armstrong has 3 sacks. Terry McLaurin, 10 receptions, 149 yards. Krosky Merritt, the rookie running back, has 22 carries for 125 yards with 2 touchdowns. And we're not sure if Daniels or Mariota will be the one that starts. Now, Krosky Merritt, knee injury. Daniels, knee injury. Noah Brown, groin injury. John Bates, groin injury. Terry McLaurin, it's a quadricep injury. So look out for those. Those are ones that can definitely keep nagging on down the road. So watch for those. All right, for the Falcons, A.J. Terrell and James Pierce Jr. Those are your defensive guys. A.J. Terrell hamstring, James Pierce Jr. groin. Those hurt. Those hurt. I will say, if Mariota's going to play and not Daniels, I would rest Pierce. Because they showed last week, without Daniels, they want to run the ball a lot more. They want to use a lot of different motion and plays and stuff like that. I would absolutely rest Pierce if you can. If you can. That's my thought. All right, we're not going to spend a bunch of time on this game. The Bills and Saints. Not even close. No contest. No. Just no. Yeah, no. No. The Bills they opened at 14.5. They got up to 16.5. They've been bet back down to now 15.5 point favorites. Like I said, it's still one of my locks. I just, no. AJ Epinesa for the Bills, a pectoral injury. So does Matt Milano, pectoral injury. Spencer Brown and Ed Oliver both have leg injuries. I really don't think they need them to beat this team. I really don't. Maybe they need them to beat them by 16 or more. I don't think the offense, I believe, is going to be cooking. And it's just the Saints can't score. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on the game. Sorry, Saints fans. I don't know what to tell you. You're playing for 2026. I mean, we all know this. It's okay. All right. The Buccaneers and the Eagles. This one is really, really interesting to me. The numbers look horrible for both teams when you really actually price them down. Jalen Hurts, 479 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, 615 yards, 6 touchdowns. Both of them no interceptions. Bucky Irving, 56 carries, 174 yards, less than 3 yards a carry. Saquon Barkley, 58 carries, 194 yards, less than 4 yards a carry. Emeka Egbuka, 14 receptions, 181 yards with 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 12 receptions, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Neither team has a huge sack presence. Levante David actually right now is the sack leader with a sack and a half. Zach McCollum, the corner, has 24 tackles leading the team. Zach Bond on the other side has 22 tackles. And Ajomo, the defensive tackle for the Eagles, has 1 sack. There really is, there's a lot of questions everywhere. Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin, we're still waiting on him to come back. Tristan Wirfs, Charlie Heck are both questionable. I don't know if they play. I don't know if they play. I did not put this in my pick 6. And the reason for that is I think this game is so ridden with injuries. Mayfield's on the injury report. I think it could be a really sloppy game. I really do. I think it could be a really, really sloppy game. It's 88 degrees. It's going to be sunny down there. I'm just not sure the game is going to be that crisp. I could see this game being 16-13, and it's the field goal that wins it for whoever. I really do. I could see that happening. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. All right, not going to spend a ton of time on this game, but I did want to do this and look at the stats. The Lions and the Browns. Myles Garrett has 4 sacks this year. 3 games, 4 sacks. That's how you lead the league in sacks. Now, Muhammad, for the Lions, had a huge week last week. He has 3.5. Corey Schlesinger has 23 tackles for the Browns. Jack Campbell has 26 tackles for the Lions. The leading receiver for the Browns is Harold Fannin Jr., 136 yards on 15 receptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown has 20 receptions, 237 yards, and 4 touchdowns. The running game for the Browns, I believe, is going to come alive. Quinshon Judkins, 28 carries, 155 yards, and a touchdown. Big hitter. David Montgomery is actually leading the Lions backfield right now. 34 carries, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns. Goff has 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 761 passing yards. Flacco, 631 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This game scares me for the Browns. But defensively, again, here we go. Daniel Thomas, safety. Zach Cunningham, linebacker. Derek Barnes, linebacker. Muhammad, defensive end backer. All of them have injuries. All defense again. For the Browns, though, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Shelby Harris, all of them also have injuries. We're into that time of year. It's injury season. Week 4, I really hope it doesn't get worse, but let's just be honest, guys. At some points, it's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad. All right, here we go. Panthers and the Patriots. I think this is a huge chance for the Patriots to really take the next step. They are favored by 5.5 points at home against a Carolina team that just blew out, big quotations, blew out the Falcons 30-0. I really think it was a fluke game. But what really bothers me is this. Right now you've got Drake May, 785 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The narrative is he's not doing that well. No, he's doing just fine. He's doing just fine learning a brand new system. Hunter Henry is easily his favorite target. He needs receivers to step up. 13 receptions, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Harold Landry, the guy they got from the Titans, 3.5 sacks. Good find, Vrabel. You already knew about him because you had coached him before. Drake May has 21 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown, also on the ground. Chuba Hubbard, questionable, has no rushing touchdowns. 168 yards rushing on 43 carries. Tedero McMillan, no receiving touchdowns. 14 receptions, 216 yards. Bryce Young has 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 603 yards. So as we get into this weekend, it's going to be a question of can the Panthers hold up? They got a lot of their main guys on the injury report. Not that they're going to be out, but they're on the injury report. All right. The Jaguars and the 49ers. This one is crazy. I am so flummoxed by this one. The Jacksonville Jaguars lead the league in takeaways. Yes, you heard me right. They lead the league in takeaways. The 49ers have not been that efficient. They beat Seattle by 4. They beat the Saints by 5. They beat the Cardinals by 1 after giving up a safety. Mac Jones has a knee injury, PCL. Brock Purdy has the toe injury. Not sure which one's going to start. Ricky Pearsall now has a knee injury. Juwan Jennings still has the ankle injury. And you just look at it and go, oh boy. But then you look at the Jags. Both of their guards, Patrick McCarry and Ezra Cleveland, injured. Elbow and an ankle. So it evens out. Nick Bosa, like I said, is out. That's huge. When you look at the stats, Trevor Lawrence, 671 passing yards this year, 4 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. Travis Etienne, though, has had an outstanding season so far. 46 carries, a touchdown, and 270 yards. Brenton Strange, 13 receptions, 137 yards. He needs to be supplanted by Brian Thomas really soon. Really soon. Tracy Walker has 2 sacks. Alakun has 23 tackles. Fred Warner leads tackles for the Niners at 30. Bryce Huff has 2 sacks. Pearsall, 281 receiving yards on 16 receptions. Christian McCaffrey, barely over 3 yards a carry. 52 carries, 176 yards. All right, a game that I am really intrigued with. The Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Rams. This is going to be a good game. I really believe this will be a good game. And it is part of my picks, so I'm not going to give out too much info. But I will say this. Let's go to the key matchup. The key matchup for me in this game is the Colts offensive line versus the Rams defensive line. Byron Young has 4 sacks for the Rams. They also have Jared Verse. He's also sitting there. Okay. And the way that these games play out, okay? They also have Colby Turner in there as well on the defensive line. I want to see how this Colts offensive line handles the Rams because they didn't handle the Broncos very well. And the Titans last week got pressure as well. Jones just escaped 6 sacks. You don't do that with the Rams. The Rams are bigger, stronger. If they get a hand on you, that jersey's getting tugged and you're not getting away. They bull rush, they spin rush, they stunt rush, they mid rush, they out rush, they corner blitz. The Rams, I believe the Rams defensive coordinator will be ready to continually throw different things at them, playing off of what they did with the Titans, what the Colts did with the Titans last week. Playing off of that, the Rams, I believe, will have a setup ready to play the play-action game, trusting their defensive line, bringing a nickel blitz off that corner so that when Jones rolls out from the play action, the corner's standing right there. It's what I would do the whole time. Blitz the corners. Blitz the corners. Stats-wise, Jones, 3 touchdowns, 816 yards. Stafford, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 739 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 60 carries, 338 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's having an outstanding season. Kyron Williams, 55 carries, 226 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Pittman, the leading receiver, 16 receptions, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, no receiving touchdowns yet, but 29 receptions for 333 yards. Injuries, look out for Buckner. He's got a back injury. Braden Smith has a heel injury. That's huge. And Gonzalez has a toe injury. Both of the right side linemen for the Colts injured. That's not what you want, especially going into LA and going into that wonderful, wonderful stadium, SoFi Stadium. All right, this next game, guys, I have to admit to you, it has thrown me for a loop. And you want to know why? Because Mabuke, the outstanding defensive tackle for the Ravens, has been ruled out for this game. There is an aspect of this Chiefs team that I absolutely hate. They look old. They don't look completely in sync. They look like they're already tired. There's a lot. There's a lot with this team. But not having Madubuike gives them a shot because I believe Hunt and Pacheco will have to have big games. Now, this game is in my pick 6. And I'll be honest, I don't know. The Chiefs being underdogs at home is not normal. They're 2.5-point underdogs. I really don't know which way to go on this. I don't. Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs. He scrambled 18 times for 125 yards. The other issue is Derrick Henry has fumbled 3 games in a row. If he makes it 4, the Chiefs easily have an opportunity to steal this game. Lamar Jackson has 9 touchdowns, 722 passing yards, no interceptions. This game is really hard to pick. This game could either be a Buffalo Bills Ravens type game, high scoring, out of this world, or it could be really sloppy. Supposed to be a gorgeous 85-degree day in Kansas City, so no weather to worry about. And I'm still not sure which one I'm going to pick in Hawks Pick 6. Really not. Still not sure. All right. Another game that is almost right down the middle. The Bears and the Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 1.5. They're home. That makes sense. And I will tell you why I like the Raiders in this. I believe their defense is ready to play at home. I believe this is the type of progression you have. The Bears, big win at home over the Cowgirls. Whatever. The Raiders now have continually had an offense. They've got something going between Myers, Tucker, Bowers. Genty, I think, eventually he's going to get going. The offensive line right now is struggling. He's going to get going, but the Raiders are healthy. The Bears are not. Swift is hurt. Wright is hurt. The offensive tackle. Kyler Gordon's hurt. TJ Edwards is hurt. Colston Loveland is hurt. Lots of injuries heading into this week. If Caleb Williams doesn't get to play a defense like the Cowboys last week, is he going to look good? I don't think so. I really don't. This is not in my pick 6. But I do believe the Raiders at home they do have a slight edge. And I think they play really hard. Their games have been it's odd what everybody thinks of their game. So week 1 at New England, they get the victory 20-13. Week 2, Monday Night Football, they lose 20-9 to the Chargers. Geno Smith throws 3 interceptions. Guys, add 3 field goals to their total. Just add 3 field goals to what they have. That's 20-18. Just add those. And you lose by 2 to the Chargers. I do not believe this team is that far out of it. Geno Smith didn't throw an interception last week against the Commanders. Their run defense was just that bad. They let him run. McNichols ran. Krosky ran. They were able to run all over him. At home, different team. Watch for the Raiders. Watch for the Raiders. All right, another game that we're not going to spend a lot of time on. Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers. Not going to spend a bunch of time on. CeeDee Lamb is out. No shot any of this goes well. Rashawn Gary for the Packers has 4.5 sacks on the year. Huge, huge week for him, an opportunity. I don't see the Cowboys being able to hold a candle to what the Packers do. Packers have owned them. I believe they continue to own them. It's that simple. The spread is what, 6.5? Yeah. It's a 6.5 point spread. It's not part of my pick 6 because it's too big. Green Bay looks a lot better. Losing last week the way they did. They'll be ready to play. Sunday Night Football. No CeeDee Lamb. Limits the Cowboys' offense. The Packers can just attack. Parsons and Rashawn Gary, I think, just absolutely just shred. I think they shred the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Let's get to this game. Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, this is Monday Night Football. This is going to be a complete snoozer. This week, neither one of the games are actually great. I would hold off on that sentiment. I think the Jets and Dolphin game is very important, and here is why. The loser is winless through the first quarter of the season. The winner gets their first W of the year. Gets to try to use and start getting momentum heading into the rest of the season. The Dolphins are in shambles. They came out inspired, played hard against the Bills, and they couldn't really compete. They got blown out by the Colts, made a bunch of mistakes where the Patriots just basically controlled the game. The Jets, however, played the Pittsburgh Steelers really close, lost by 2. Get blown out by the Bills, lots of people will have that happen to them. And then only lost by 2 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like the Jets are one of those teams, they're right there, and it's because of their receiving, their young receiver and their young running back. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson are cornerstone foundations for this team. Now, I do not know, based off of everything I've been looking, right now, I do not know if it's going to be Tyrod Taylor or if it's going to be Justin Fields. Taylor on the season, 33. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 253 passing yards. Tua has 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and only 575 passing yards. It's not like they're lighting the world on fire. Their offensive line played good against Buffalo, but I really feel like that was it. I really feel like that was it. They wanted to beat Buffalo. Can they do the same thing at home? Tua clapped back against all the criticism he's gotten. Well, then play better. Same thing to Kyler Murray. You're in the same boat. You've got to be the leader. I don't care if you're small. I don't care if you're undersized. You're the quarterback. You've got to be the leader. You have looked like garbage this year. You have looked like side of the road garbage. Don't whine. Don't complain. You've got your critics because you're getting paid a bunch of money and you're not living up to it. It's that simple. So that is one of my picks, so I'm not going to be doing that. The last game of the evening will be the Broncos at home against the Bengals. Not going to spend a bunch of time on this. The Bengals are a turnover machine right now. They turn the ball over consistently. Even with Jamar Chase, they don't have a shot. They just don't have a shot. Hendrickson does have 2 sacks on the year. He is valuable. He will be valuable at the trade deadline, if not before. And I think they need to trade him as fast as possible. Okay. So, here we go. We don't need locks. We already did Hawks locks. We don't need that. Here we go. Time for Hawks Pick 6. Let's finish this Friday out on a very high note. Here we go. This is how I'm going to do this week. I have got, in my picks for college, I have got 1 underdog and 2 favorites. In my pick 6, I am 3-3. I have got 3 favorites and 3 underdogs. Okay? So here we go. Pick number 1. I am going to pick the Dublin game. It's a risk, but I am going to pick the Dublin game. I am going to go with the Vikings over the Steelers in Dublin. I believe in Brian Flores, absolutely just annihilating Aaron Rodgers again. I believe that defense is dialed in. After that huge week last week, I believe they're ready to play. They're going to run the ball. The Steelers don't have a run defense. I believe they're going to run the ball with Mason, play keep away with everything the running game, easy jet sweep game, and the quick play action game. I think they play the short game, trust their defense, they get the W in Dublin. The Falcons are underdogs at home. They're coming off of an embarrassing loss. Good teams, when you get a blown out loss, normally come back and bounce back in a great way. Offensive coordinator has been told he was stripped of his power. He no longer can make a decision on who's standing where or what's going on. He was told you get down on the field now. You suck up in the booth. I don't know what you're doing, what you're playing around with. You get down on the field so you can actually feel what's going on in the game because you're not good enough. Ike Hilliard, the receivers coach, gets fired. There is pressure in Atlanta. I believe they rise because the core is young. Penix, London, Robinson, Pitts. The core is young. They want to play, but they need a coaching staff, and I do believe the coaching staff is the issue in Atlanta, but I believe the players can play. If Daniels starts for the Commanders, I will say, I mean, it's a wash at that point. But with Mariota, I'm picking the Falcons. I am going to go with Rams over the Colts this week at home. Defensive line, biggest one they've played, strongest one they've played. Jonathan Taylor won't just break through. They shut down Barkley last week. They won't have a bunch of room. They'll play a zone behind it, make the Colts do the long game, but you're not going to escape 6 sacks against the Rams. Offensively, they're better. The Colts defensively are banged up at corner. They're banged up at defensive line right now. They're going to be able to run. Adams, Nakua can just shred the secondary. So I've got the Rams beating the Colts. I've got the Jaguars. I've got the Jaguars on the road. I don't believe in any of the injuries. I have to be honest. I have to be really honest. I don't believe in Purdy with the toe injury or Mac Jones with the PCL injury. I just don't. I don't see anything that I don't see anything that makes me believe in the 49ers. I don't. Bosa being out on defense, I believe the Jaguars can run. Hopefully Brian Thomas and Lawrence can get on the same page. I'm going with the underdog. I got Jacksonville on the road to beat them. I got the Jets over the Dolphins. I believe they're the better team. I believe they are the better coached team. Even more. Garrett Wilson is outperforming any receiver on Miami. The offense looks balanced. The team doesn't give up. They're engaged. They know they're losing close, and they can win a couple of these, especially over teams that are worse, and especially over teams that their offense does not match with the defense. That simple. Now, the 6th game. And I've been going back and forth on this game all morning. Part of me wants to change my pick right here, right now, live to close out the podcast. But I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens over the Kansas City Chiefs. Part of me really wants to pick the Chiefs with Metabuke being out. Part of me really wants to pick them because I think the Chiefs can get a stop enough, or Derrick Henry's going to fumble, and that's going to change the game. There's something about it. I am really worried about this Ravens team. The Chiefs team isn't the greatest either. That defense, though, for the Ravens just got embarrassed. Once again, a team gets embarrassed, they normally play better the next week. I was thinking about switching it, but I'm not going to. I'm going with the Ravens over the Chiefs. All right, so recap. This is what I got for this week, picks-wise. Tomorrow, we got Illinois over USC, Georgia over Bama, and Penn State over Oregon. In the NFL on Sunday, I got the Vikings over the Steelers, Falcons over the Commanders, Jaguars over the 49ers, Rams over the Colts. I got the Ravens over the Chiefs and Jets over the Dolphins this week in the NFL, Week 4, closing out the first quarter of the season. All right. We'll be back Monday. Another week down. Here we go. We got football. We got some college football tonight. Sit back, watch some college football. That Florida State team could be legit. Virginia wants to play spoiler, though. Always fun. Always fun. ACC matchups, conference matchups are outstanding. All right, I'm hungry. Getting home late has really thrown off everything for the last couple days. The weekends for me tomorrow morning, hallelujah. It's been one heck of a week. So happy for the week to end. Hopefully, finish out today strong and have the best weekend that you can. Make it the best weekend you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I deeply appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast, and I thank you ever so much. Week 4 of the NFL season is upcoming. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Until then, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great weekend, everyone.